All right, this is part 5 of the Phi-Singularity Transmuter, or otherwise known as Black Sun technology. The first few videos, we went over how it all works. Then we went into different applications. So we've went over the planetary energy stabilizer, the atmospheric cleanser, the orbital defense grid, and we finished last time with the city power core. Now we are moving into the warp drive engine core, the power source of coherence. Here we go. Now we leave the surface and step into the frontier of motion. Every craft that's ever moved, whether it's a ship through water or a shuttle through the stars, has done so by pushing against something. That push always creates resistance, waste, heat. But what if movement didn't have to come from resistance at all? What if the very field of balance we've been describing could become motion itself? That's the heart of the warp drive engine core. Not as a thruster, but as a source of coherent power that makes true harmonic travel possible. Inside the vessel's belly sits the same toroidal coherence cavity you've already seen before. Glowing, breathing, spinning in Phi ratio. But here, it isn't feeding on chaos from volcanoes or cities. It's drawing in vacuum fluctuations themselves. Space isn't empty. It's filled with restless energy, jittering quantum foam, microbursts of potential that appear and vanish every instant. The transmuter's implosive intake gently pulls those fluctuations inward, like inhaling the breath of the cosmos. As the vacuum energy collapses into the cavity, it enters a zone of phase translation, where the random quantum jitter finds harmonic intervals. Zero-point chaos becomes ordered potential. And I explained all this in the prequel, right? I went so much into depth into that. You could say the field teaches the vacuum to hum in a single note. And that hum is power, clean, endless, self-balancing. The core doesn't burn anything. It sings the vacuum into order. The resonance produces a stream of coherent photons and magnetic vortices that can be routed anywhere on the craft. To propulsion systems, shield lattices, life support grids, or even synthetic gravity fields. Because the energy is harmonically locked, none of it decays. It simply cycles like a breathing lung of light. The difference between this and old reactors is consciousness. Those machines fought nature. This one collaborates with it. The warp drive core doesn't dominate energy. It participates in it. And that participation is what allows the craft to move through space without friction, without exhaust, without separation from the field it travels through. The ship becomes a living torus, resonating with the universe instead of pushing against it. This is the blueprint for the next era of exploration. Motion born from coherence. Power that heals as it drives. Technology that remembers it's alive. And don't worry, I'm going to go a lot more in depth in my upcoming series. You will understand how a warp engine works. 100%. You'll understand it. So now we go to the healing chamber biofield harmonizer. Now bring that same toroidal heart down to the scale of the human body. Because what the planet does, what the stars do, what the ship does, what the body does too. Every cell, every organ, every heartbeat is its own Phi-Singularity engine trying to stay coherent in a noisy world. When that coherence slips, we call it sickness. I should probably let you see the picture, huh? But the truth is, illness is just untranslated energy. Chaos is waiting for a song. The healing chamber is how we teach the body that song again. Step into the center and you'll see it. A glowing toroidal field surrounding you, breathing in gold and violet light. The chamber doesn't zap you or flood you with frequencies. It listens. It draws in every dissonant vibration you carry. The electromagnetic noise of stress, the heat of inflammation, the low hum of fear that sits in the solar plexus. All of it enters the chamber's implosive intake like the world's gentlest exhale. Inside the toroidal coherence field, those vibrations are invited to align. The disharmony that once made your cells vibrate out of sync begins to find rhythm. Your nervous system starts to hum with the field. Your pulse synchronizes to its golden ratio. That is the essence of the biofield harmonization. You remember how to breathe with the universe again. Microscopically, something remarkable happens. Water molecules in your cells begin to reorder into coherent crystalline structures. DNA strands oscillate with clarity. The electromagnetic haze around your organs clears, allowing full communication between heart, brain, and field. You don't have to force healing, you just remove the interference and life reorganizes itself. In that moment, the chamber becomes a mirror. It doesn't fix you, it shows you your original blueprint, the geometry of wholeness. I always talk about being whole. People describe the experience as warmth without heat, sound without sound, light behind their eyes. It's as though the body remembers its original chord and begins to play it again. And when you step out, you don't just feel better, you're different, you're coherent. Your field is smooth, your mind quiet, your cells resonant. The same physics that calmed a volcano and purified a storm has now realigned the micro-universe inside you. Healing isn't a mystery anymore, it's resonance restored. Now, when we look at the oceans and skies again, where the air and the water meet in restless cycles, the storms that rise from the seas, the typhoons that tear across continents, they're not punishments from above, they're dissonant breath. Weather is the planet's heartbeat trying to find rhythm in real time. And when pressure differentials spike, the song turns to thunder. But thunder can be taught to hum. Enter the weather balancer. Picture sleek oceanic PST towers standing across the sea like tuning forks for the atmosphere. Each one hums with the same geometry you've seen before, a golden torus pulsing in Phi ratio, anchored deep into the crust, floating above the waves. Their implosive intakes don't suck up water or cloud mass. They invite in the electromagnetic turbulence that feeds the storm. Static buildup, ionic charge, pressure imbalance. As those chaotic energies funnel inward, they're drawn through the toroidal coherence field, where opposing forces meet in harmony instead of collision. Here's what happens next. The violent shear that once tore through the air softens into harmonic pressure gradients. Wind cells begin to synchronize. Heat differentials that once fueled hurricanes find a new outlet. Golden standing waves spreading outward like calm ripples across the ocean's surface. Those ripples act as a reset pulse for the region, teaching the storm how to dissipate gracefully rather than erupt destructively. The towers don't control the weather, they heal it. Each acts like a resonant acupuncture point in the Earth's circulatory system. They release the tension between the air and water, just like the body releasing the tension between the muscle and the breath. The storm doesn't disappear, it transforms. It becomes ordered, rhythmic rainfall. The ocean cools without shock, and the sky clears without violence. Now imagine a grid of these towers across every major ocean. Typhoons, heat domes, droughts, all tuned back into balance. Not through chemicals or manipulation, but through resonance. The planet's nervous system would finally rest the same way the human body does after remembering how to breathe. The weather balancer is Earth's exhale, a technology that reminds the sky that peace is possible. We'll pick you up on the next one. Hope you have a great night. Oh, on part 6, obviously, but hope you have a great night. Namaste.